York. Talk to me about what it's like to come back to Chicago. You came here for the producers, of course. You got to love this city, don't you?
Yes, I do love this city very much, passionately. I wouldn't want to open this show anywhere else. It's a great city, and then the theater-going audiences here are very smart and sophisticated, and they were really the best audiences I think we ever had for the producers. It was great in New York, but it was nothing like Chicago, especially in the first few days, and people were sort of discovering it, and it couldn't have been better. So it's a very fond and golden memory for me and everyone who was associated with the producers.
Gomez Addams. If almost anybody else but you were sitting in the chair, I'd say, wouldn't you be worried about a comparison to John Astin or Raul Julia? I don't worry about that with you. Tell me about Nathan Lane living in the world of Gomez Addams.
Okay. Thank you for saying that. I think it's just in a sense it's a brand new character because it's written by Marshall Brickman and Rick Ellis, and who wrote Jersey Boys, and Andrew Lipper, who's just incredibly talented and has written a fabulous score. And it's sort of part. There are parts of him you're familiar with, and yet there's like the show itself. It's as funny as you hope it will be, and then it is surprisingly emotional when you don't expect it to be. And so it's a joyous character to play. It's great fun to be him. His passion and for his family and the love of his wife, who he adores, and it's a sort of a very pleasant place to be when you're inhabiting him. And everybody loves John Astin, and Raul was sensational in the movies. In fact, I was in the second movie. I did a scene with Raul, and who was one of the sweetest and most talented actors ever. But I think this will be. There's lots of surprises in the show, and I think everyone will get what they're hoping for and a little bit more.
Does Gomez still love French?
Yes, but there's a moment like that. But I hate to give things away. Everyone will. It's like a little buffet. They'll get a little bit of everything they're hoping for. And
trains blowing up, cigars.
I just don't want to tell you that. But there's plenty of hijinks.
Fair enough. You won 2 Tony Awards, millions of other awards, but of interest, you won 2 Tony Awards for roles that Zero Mostel had before you. I know it's not your desire to be seen in the footsteps of Zero Mostel, but I want to ask you, who is your role model? Who do you look at and say, that's who taught me something?
Oh, well, there's too many to mention. That goes back to being when I was a kid, and people I loved like Jackie Gleason or Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello, and Zero. I didn't. I never got to see on stage, but certainly when I saw the producer's film, I fell in love with him. Yeah, I mean, there are many.
Okay, it's funny you mentioned Gleason. I actually have a question here which said, to me, you've always had a Gleason quality, and that is, you can make us laugh, you can make us cry. I think of Arbonne and Birdcage. You brought tears to my eyes in certain moments. How does the comic actor, how do you go between drama and comedy?
Well, it's all the same, really. It's the same, when you're on stage, there's some technical things. If they laugh, you you stop talking, and when they stop laughing, you start talking again. But other than that, the same rules apply, so it's not. In a sense, a comedy is a little harder, but I just did Waiting for Godot last season with Bill Irwin and John Goodman and John Glover, and had a great time. And certainly that is a play where you're navigating the serious and the comic at all times, and it was a great challenge and very exciting.
I know you're good friends as well with Terrence McNally, Love, Valor, Compassion, his work. What attracts you to a work? Is it the playwright? Is it what brings you to a project?
Well, yes, it's all about the writing, because if you don't have that, you don't have anything. And sometimes it's about wanting to work with certain people or a director, but hopefully, it's really always about the writing.
Congratulations as well on the American Theater Hall of Fame. Well deserved.
Thank you.
So let me just ask you, in this, talk to me a bit about the music, the story. What can we expect as we sit in the theater and watch you perform?
Well, I think as I said to someone, I keep having the nagging suspicion that we're doing something special. It's not your average musical comedy, and it's wonderful that there are very high expectations, and it's also scary because it's so easy to disappoint people. But the creative team behind the show are so extraordinary. Phelan McDermott and Julian Crouch, the director designers of the show, who did a wonderful show called Shock-Headed Peter, bring a whole new viewpoint to the musical, and then there's this incredible puppetry by Basil Twist. There's lots of special effects, even though they're done not in a high-tech way. It's all very old-fashioned theatrical things they're employing, and it's just it's a terrific story they've come up with. Essentially, it's you can't take it with you. It's Wednesday is 18 and has fallen in love, and the parents and the boy are coming to dinner, and hijinks ensue. So and it's it's kind of a meditation on love. By the end of the show, it feels it's kind of Shakespearean. Everyone has paired off, and it is, as I was saying before, it's extremely funny, and then it's surprisingly moving, and you don't see it coming, which is the best part.